Oh my God, what happened to Google? Well, Google has just opened an £800 million data center in North London, just out of North London in Waltham Cross, as a part of their commitment to investing £5 billion into the UK economy. And the government seems pretty happy about this, bro. Our new Waltham Cross data center is a part of our 2-year, £5 billion investment plan to help the UK's AI economy. Now, let's read this, and we're going to just give you guys the real, because it looks nice. I mean, these AI-generated images, they do look nice. Google is deepening our roots in the UK with the opening of our new data center. And I'll be real, this is some positive news, because I don't know, I mean, they swept this under the rug. They really swept this under the rug because the government actually backed this AI scam company, Builder AI. I believe I did make a video on this a few months back because it was such big news that no one was talking about. Microsoft ended up backing them. I think SoftBank are a Japanese bank that invested in WeWork. And you guys know the state of WeWork right now. I still see some WeWork buildings around, but WeWork turned out to be kind of a giant Ponzi scheme. Same with Builder AI. They said that they would use their AI to create websites. They had an AI that could create websites. Turns out they just had like a couple of hundred employees in a developing country doing all of the work for them. So that was a giant scam, man. The guy who did all of that, Sachin Dev Dugal, there was a British company, by the way. He made £20 million in share sales. And yep, people lost their jobs, people lost their investments, but hey, he made £20 million. So hey, whoopie-doo. It's a part of the £5 billion investment, research, development, capital expenditure, related engineering over the next 2 years, and encompasses Google DeepMind. With its pioneering AI research in science and healthcare, it will help the UK develop its AI economy, advancing AI breakthroughs, and supporting a projected 8,250 jobs in the UK. And I love how they throw around, listen, over 8,000 jobs. We're supporting 8,000 jobs, bro. This data center, this is one thing that people don't understand. With these data centers, okay, they use a lot of water. I think it's like, how many milliliters? I think it's like, is it 2 liters or 500 milliliters for every little thing that you ask ChatGPT? AI uses a lot of energy. It uses more energy than people think. And it contradicts what this country's been about. This country's always said, oh, net zero. We're going for net zero. Well, you know, to save face a little bit, Shell to manage renewable energy supply for Google UK data center. Do I waste your time? Do I insult you guys by reading you guys this absolute fucking nonsense? Yeah, I think I do. Google has selected Shell to oversee its power portfolio, serving a newly opened data center in the UK. Shell will use battery energy storage systems to balance Google's existing clean energy, but will also manage the offtake from a long-term agreement. Google has absolute nonsense. The amount of energy that AI uses, the amount of energy that these data centers actually use, bruv, this is why renewable energy talk has kind of gone quiet. This is why you ain't heard about Greta Thunberg. I mean, because Greta Thunberg, she's doing a lot of support for the people suffering in Gaza. But apart from that, you ain't heard a lot about Greta Thunberg because the environmental push is kind of just being brushed under because AI uses a lot of energy. AI is the future. AI is used in the military. AI is used for everything. And AI, actually, where is this here? It says here, grids will make or break Europe's AI ambitions. Grids, because they're going to need a lot of electricity. How are we going to get... Renewable energy is not at that stage yet where it can generate a lot of electricity. So, like, how much of even the UK's energy is even renewable? Let's take a look at that, actually. All right, well, it says here, 41% of the UK's energy is renewable, which is impressive, and they're aiming for net zero by 2025. But is this renewable energy going to be able to keep up with the new demand that's going to come from AI? Because right now, people who use AI regularly, it's really just early adopters now. But in the next year or so, bruv, everyone's going to be using AI. Everything's going to be used for AI. And it's just about whether these grids can keep up. As it says in this, will the grids be able to keep up with the amount of energy being used? Because I think I read, it even says that 3% of all the electricity used in the UK is already being used by data centers. Data centers are not just used for AI. Data centers are also used by all other companies. Like when we're doing these things on our phone, we're doing processing these things on our phones. No! Pots of snus fell down, bro. No, fam. It's still spinning. When we're doing all these things on our phones, bro, it's not just, it can't all just be processed on here. No, it's processed up there. Not really processed up there. It's processed in the data center. That's probably over there. That's where all the processing takes place. And I want to attack what they said about the jobs. being generated. They say 8,000 jobs. Well, they don't say those jobs are going to be generated, but they say support. They're trying to say, oh, look, it's great. Da, da, da. No, bruv, it's not going to be good for the residents. It's not going to be good for the residents simply because of this article here. This is a woman from Georgia. I was just in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Love that city. I really want to move there. I can't drink the water. Life next to a US data center because these data centers need water. And in London, this data center is going to be in North London. In London, Thames Water is going bankrupt. They're how many billions in debt? I think they got another bailout. Thames Water is done. We ain't even in control of our water. And she said she was, after the data center was built, she couldn't, she was having problems getting water. She had to flush her freaking toilet with a bucket. Freaking poor lady. She lives in America as well. Hey, my people, if you're enjoying the video, please give it a like. Thank you. Takes no time, costs nothing, helps me in the algorithm. Give it a like. Thank you. Like the video. And last year, while this data center was being built, because now you're obviously seeing a lot of articles saying, wow, Trump's visiting the UK. Our data center's opening. The UK is making headways with AI. Forget about that £1 billion company scam there. No, bruv. Last year, Google is ruining our lives. Residents living next to tech giants' £800 million data center claim it's making them ill, knocking thousands of their house prices. They say they don't want US tech geeks for neighbors. And I read this, and I'll be real, their complaints aren't really that valid. They're not really that valid, but having a data center like this built next to you, I mean, in the UK, bro, planning permission blocks so many things. Like, people have too much power to block things from happening. So the fact that this even was able to be built in London, just on the outskirts of London, is actually pretty impressive. It tells you what the amount of power that a company like Google has to be able to pull this off. But what does this mean for those of us living in London, bro? Like, most of the time when we do anything off of Google, use Google Maps, it's going to be processed in this data center right here. Everything in London is probably going to be processed here. Anything that needs to run through Google servers. And it's good. Rachel Reeves, is she the chancellor? I believe she's the chancellor. Rachel Reeves. She said this is going to drive growth. There's pressure over the lackluster state of the UK economy, and it's true, bro. Because right now, the UK economy, there's not really any direction we can head into, bro. I mean, are we really the kings of AI? No, America and China are. Is there a chat GPT made by the UK? No, not really. Is this going to bring any jobs? No, it's just going to help Google. I mean, we'll see what they do with the rest of the 5 billion, but in these plants, in these data centers, it's just computers that are being cooled down all the time. That's all the data center is. There's probably going to be like 100 people working there, bro. Not 8,000, okay? Not 8,000. All this is going to do is support Google in their plans to grow, make people more, to make more people adopt the use of their products, make more people use Google Maps, make more people use Google. They need the data centers to support that. And it's not just going to be Google using them. They're going to, I know Amazon does this. A lot of other companies do this. Like, they built the data centers. They're going to sell access to other companies. They're going to allow other companies to pay them to use their data centers. Do you get what I'm saying? Understanding renewable energy use in data centers. You see, it just doesn't even make sense, bro. The UK aims to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. That's not going to happen if we're trying to push AI. That's impossible. It's possible, but it's not going to make sense because in this country, energy prices already rise by like 2% every couple of months. Like, it's a joke. It's like, why are energy prices rising? The energy prices here are ridiculous. So it's not even going to be efficient for companies to have their data centers here, to try and build their AI infrastructure here, because power's so expensive, because the water company in our city, in our main city, in one of the richest cities on the planet is... Can you think about how ridiculous this sounds when I'm telling the truth? Thames Water, the supplier of water in one of the richest cities on the planet, is bankrupt, bro. What the fuck is going on? But it even says here, bro, BlackRock, OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, and more are expected to announce investments in the UK, along with Google, because Google's just made the stamp, said, yo, we're going to put 5 billion here. All these other companies, well, we need to just think, what is the agenda here? Like, what interest do they have in having data centers in the UK? Because data centers use a lot of energy. Energy is expensive in the UK. So you guys just building these data centers here. So when we inevitably get to a point where everybody's using AI, these data centers, they just preparing for the future so the data centers don't end up being overloaded. With the data centers here originally reaching capacity, looking like they wouldn't be able to cope with future demand, maybe that's what it looks like. And maybe it's just a safe investment for these companies to make, because when it comes to AI in the UK, we are nowhere near America and China, bro. We are embarrassingly far behind, bro. Embarrassingly far behind. And all of the AI companies that I went through in my OpenAI video, they're all sold to American companies. They're bought by American companies. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I need to pick up my snus pots. Peace and love to every single one of you guys watching.